Hello again, everyone. Now, I wonder if any of you are fans of the children's television programme Blue Peter. I've been charity shopping again and I found this gem. It's the Blue Peter annual. Now, I paid 99 pence for this week, but I actually had this very annual when I was younger. Now, I searched throughout book to find the date, and I couldn't find the date, but I did a Google search. I know this was the 17th annual, and it turns out that it was published in 1980. Which means I would have been 13, and I think I was given it for Christmas. Anybody recognise these presenters? Simon Groom, Tina Heath, and again I had to Google, I couldn't remember. I remembered him, couldn't think of his name. Chris Wenner. Not quite sure why they're dressed in these outfits. The back cover, do you remember they used to have appeals and they'd have these targets lit up when they hit a different number? And the dog, I think that's Goldie. I remember Goldie. So I thought you might be interested just to have a little look inside the book with me. And I was quite surprised that it was as late as 1980, because inside they've still got black and white photographs. This is Television Centre, the outskirts of London, a very distinctive building. And anybody remember Percy Thrower, who was the gardener? There was a sunken garden at the television centre. I certainly remember watching Percy Thrower. So I'll read out there's like a little introduction page, hello there, I think, which sets the scene for the year at Blue Peter. And it's been signed by Simon Groom, Chris Wenner and Tina Heath. And this is what it says. Hello there. And with our 17th book comes a record of what's probably the most momentous year in Blue Peter's history. When we launched our great Blue Peter Bring and Buy sale appeal last November, we never in our wildest dreams expected Blue Peter viewers to provide £3 million worth of aid for the starving babies, children and adults of Cambodia. Now, I was in, I think, Form 3, comprehensive school, and I certainly remember our school doing something towards the Bring and Buy sale. So I carry on. We'll never be able to say enough thank yous for all the people who contributed. We just hope that the photographs and the report on pages 38 to 43 will be a lasting record of something that's nothing short of a miracle for all the readers of this book who helped. It's been an exciting year, and one thing in particular that's cheered us up has been all your letters and good ideas for the programme. It's like Christmas morning every day of the week in the Blue Peter office when Stan, our postman, arrives with his trolley full of letters, cards and parcels. What on earth will they think of next, we say to ourselves, as we read how you've dug up 500,000-year-old fossil on the beach, or hatched a chicken from an egg from the fridge, or taught a rabbit how to show jump. It's not a very tidy office, but it's certainly cheerful. The notice boards and walls are plastered with your drawings, paintings, photos and letters. And during our appeal, we even managed to squeeze in a great Blue Peter bring and buy sales stall amongst all the desks and typewriters. One very sad thing that happened during the year was the death of Honey, Blue Peter's first ever guide dog for the blind. Honey was provided from the proceeds of our 1964 appeal, and after she'd passed all her tests, she became the eyes for retired schoolteacher Miss Elsie Whitehead. But like human beings, when guide dogs become old, they're a little slow and a little less speedy in their reactions. So when we knew that Honey would have to retire, we had another appeal and provided Miss Whitehead with Buttons, who was also puppy walked on Blue Peter. The marvellous thing was that Honey was allowed to stay with Miss Whitehead as a family pet, as she had an extremely happy 3 years of retirement before she died peacefully in her sleep on the 6th of January 1980. On a more cheerful note, we're still keeping up our guide dog links through Goldie. Her sister Jeannie is now a brood bitch, which means she'll produce many litters of potential guide dog puppies. If they all turn out to be as gentle and intelligent as their Aunt Goldie, they can't go far wrong. By the time you read this, the newest of all Blue Peter viewers will probably have been born. Tina's baby should arrive on the 10th of September, and it will be a great moment when it makes its first ever TV appearance. Mum will be back on the programme from time to time, and we're delighted to welcome Sarah Green as Blue Peter's 5th girl presenter. Watch out for more about her in Book 18. By the way, you may notice the reappearance of an old friend on page 32, the mystery picture. When we missed it out of our 16th book, lots of people wrote and asked to put it back, including someone who said that for years she'd sit up in bed on Christmas morning, reached for her stocking and coloured in the mystery picture. But she found sitting up in bed and making the model of the Blue Peter studio an impossible substitute. We hope we please all our readers this year. P.S. Watch out for our book of gorgeous grub. It's helping to raise funds for the International Year of the Child. So I just love reading 1980, and I love reading about having a guy called Stan delivering post on a trolley and reading letters. I remember watching children's TV and always being encouraged to send letters with a stamped addressed envelope to children, to BBC Studios. And just having a flick through here to see anything interesting to tell you. I've not really had a chance to have a look through this myself, but this is Sarah Green, a very young Sarah Green, obviously, and I'm reading here because she was going to be the new presenter when Tina Heath left to have a baby. Sarah Green starred in a children's TV programme called The Swish of the Curtain. Now, I remember watching that. It was about a children's drama school, drama theatre. So that was fun. Yeah, once again, lots of black and white photographs which I suppose I'm quite surprised that in 1980 we hadn't moved over to colour. Just goes to show, doesn't it? What else have we got in here? It was the a little article here on the 13th Winter Olympics at Lake Placid, and yes, they got the date there, so I could have didn't read that page before I googled it. I just read out the mystery picture, so I didn't really know what that was, but it's like a little grid with codes in each square, and I think you have to colour each square in a particular colour, and then a picture will be revealed. That's what that reader had complained about when they missed it out of the previous year. And I didn't have the Blue Peter annual every year, but I certainly had it a few years, and it was definitely a good Christmas gift. And some information on the bring and buy sale, and obviously the time, the troubles in Cambodia with the regime there. It's really interesting to look back on this, and this is probably, I imagine, what Chris Wenner was most famous for. They had these door knockers from Durham Cathedral. I've just read that. I couldn't remember which cathedral. And they did an article on Durham Cathedral because I think they'd made a replica. And I remember when they came back to the studio presenters, this Chris, I'm sure some of you remember it, said, "What a lovely pair of knockers. TV history." Stories in here. There's usually a little recipe as well. Competitions and story. This particular story is Here We Are Again, the story of Joey the clown. All over the world, clowns are known as Joey. They are called after one man who was born in London more than 200 years ago, on the 18th of December 1779. His name was Joseph Grimaldi. So this is the story told in pictures of Joseph Grimaldi. And I did love watching Blue Peter. I don't even know if it's still made now. I'm sure it's nothing like the format from way back when, but I loved it. It was, it just had something for everyone. You know, they had the animals, they had adventuring, they made things, they interviewed people, and I never actually got one, but the Blue Peter badge. So I'm going to enjoy having a little read through. This is an excellent copy, by the way. There's not a single pen mark or damage to it whatsoever. So I'm going to enjoy a little touch of nostalgia again. And I hope you have enjoyed my little trip into the past to BBC television studios with my Blue Peter annual. I will see you again very soon.